It's Monday, December 9th, 2024, and this is episode 324 of You Can Bet On That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet On That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. I'm Mark Duvall.
And I'm Dr. Mike.
Dr. Mike, how are things over there in Minnesota?
Cold.
Yeah.
Actually, this weekend it warmed up a little. We're in the 30s.
Excellent.
So that's good. But it was the other morning I got up to get ready, go to school. -4. -17 with the wind. So, yeah, it's been a little chilly. But, don't spend any time outside anyway. So.
High 70s here.
High 70s.
So I will be spending some time outside.
It's too warm. That's too warm.
It's too warm, especially for December. I agree.
Yeah. It is kind of nice to have cold, snowy,
I understand, of course.
When January comes, it's like, I don't really need that.
The holidays are over. Flip the switch back.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be good if it just snowed for holidays? Can't the government fix that?
Yeah, we'll look into it.
Yeah, they'll seed the clouds or something.
So we told everybody on our last episode, hey, Thanksgiving weekend, if you got a casino close by, you better go. So did either of us go? Did you go, Dr. Mike?
No, I did not. But I was thinking about going today after we finish this. And then I thought, God, it's so cold.
Yeah.
It's not like you're not warm in the car. The car's warm.
When we went to Diamond Joe Worth, getting from the car to the lobby of the hotel was painful. And Sherry's from Illinois, so she's used to the cold weather.
But she hasn't lived there in a while.
Yeah,
so
all right. I also did not go to the casino we went last night, but it was just to get free play and eat. So I guess shame on us.
Well, it's just too much. I was trying to get other stuff done, like decorating and stuff. Didn't get any of that done.
Oh, you didn't? So now it's too late?
Well, we got the inside done, but no outside.
Oh, boy.
And thank goodness, because that weekend it got super, super windy, like 40, 50 mile an hour winds up here. Everything would have blown away.
Okay.
Instead, we didn't lose any Christmas decorations, just a bit of our roof.
Really?
Yes.
Jeez, Mike.
So, got to get a new roof. Just got it patched up for now, but when the spring comes, we'll get a new roof.
All right. High 70s here today.
High 70s, Yes, it seems boring, doesn't it? We always have something going on here,
Well, good luck with that.
Well, it's okay.
One of the other things that we went on and on about last time was, oh no, Blackhawk. It's scheduled for September next year. Oh, it's going to be snowy and we won't be able to go outside without... All right, we didn't make that big a deal of it, but we were a little concerned about, weather, rain, what have you. We got a nice email from Melanie. She said, September is by far the best month to be in Colorado. The daily afternoon showers of August have passed, and the aspens are starting to turn gold in early September. Love the aspens up there.
They're pretty trees, yeah.
Like Dr. Mike said, if it does rain or snow in the high country, the weather usually changes quickly. It does get cold in the evenings, as he said, but it's usually 70s and sunny in the daytime. Well, there you go. It's usually a great time to catch a Broncos game or a show at Red Rocks. Both are within an hour from Blackhawk. The small nearby mountain towns are usually hosting fun Oktoberfest events, and prices are lower in resort towns because it's their off-season. The nearby hiking and mountain biking trails are somewhat less busy, too. See you in September. So there we go, Mike.
Yeah, but two things, Mark.
Okay.
Number one, she is right about Red Rocks. Did you go up there and see that venue?
No, I haven't. It's a big amphitheater, right?
Big amphitheater up there. Yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah.
It's really nice. And if there was a show going on, that would be a good thing to do.
Yeah.
But the other point that I want to make out is Melanie forgot to take into account that it's us.
Okay. You and I?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you will come and it'll probably be a snowstorm.
Oh, I see. So bad luck follows us. It's not that we couldn't. Okay. Yeah, that is a good point. She should have brought that up.
Yeah. When we set up something, there'll be something bad that happens, It's just the way it is with us, Mark. I mean, It's the curse of the royal flush.
Well, maybe if Thomas and Melissa come up with dates, we'll just politely decline.
Yeah,
sorry, we don't want to mess it up for
everyone can have
everybody.
a good time, right? No, we'd like you to have a good time. Thanks anyway.
All right. So early September, Sherry and I are definitely planning on that. So put that on your calendar.
All right. Yeah. All the other people think, God, I hope they don't come. God, I hope they don't come.
All right. You want to learn a new table game, new carnival game?
Oh, you know I do.
All right. Here it comes. Split hand poker.
Split hand poker.
Split hand poker.
Okay, the name's a little scary.
All right,
Split hand doesn't sound fun.
No,
but
don't worry.
Go ahead.
There's no violence involved. Okay, so you're playing against the dealer. It's a carnival game. All the players are playing against the dealer. So at the beginning of the game, you make a bet in the game bet circle. There are a bunch of side bets too, but that's the main bet. That's what we'll talk about here. So you put your game bet wager down.
Mm-hmm.
The dealer gets 4 down cards, and you get 4 down cards. Then the dealer puts out 2 flops. Now, a flop, for those who are unfamiliar, is 3 community cards that are dealt face up in Texas Hold'em. And in this case, the dealer deals out 2 flops. Again, both of them face up. One, the red flop, and the other, the blue flop.
Different colored cards or something?
No, just different colored spots on the table.
Okay.
So it's all from the same deck. 52 card deck.
Okay.
So everything's being dealt from one 52 card deck.
Well, that makes it a bit easier.
Right.
Okay.
But there are 2 flops, right? And they, one flop goes in these red boxes and the other flop goes in the blue boxes.
Okay.
Then you take a look at your 4 cards and you split them up so that you use 2 cards that will play with the red flop to make a 5-card poker hand. And then the other 2 cards will go with the blue flop to make the 5-card poker hand.
Are we heading towards like a pie gow thing?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And so that's it. The dealer does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
If both your 5-card hands beat both his 5-card hands, you win. If both of your hands lose to the dealer, you lose.
Lose.
And if you win one and lose on the other, it's a push.
Huh. Okay. Well, yeah, I could see when you were explaining it how that was coming. It was going to be like a pie gow and a poker game combined.
Yeah, it is kind of.
So will there be as many pushes as there is in pie gow?
Well, there is a catch.
There's always a catch.
Because if you think about it, if you were playing that way, well, then that's kind of a 50-50 game, right? The
Right.
dealer doesn't have any edge.
Well, that's what I was thinking. And of course, I knew there was a catch, but all right, drop the shoe on me.
All right. If either one of the dealer's hands is less than king high,
Okay.
it's an automatic push.
All right. So
the dealer only qualifies if both of his hands are king high or better.
okay.
So there you go.
Now, do the dealers have some kind of guideline on what they pick?
Yes, there is a house way. I'm not sure exactly what it is, and it might be a little complicated, but it's a house way where they try to make the best hands. In other words, there's never a house way where they
can make a bad hand.
would deliberately not qualify. Yes.
Right. Because if they had one mediocre hand and then the other hand could be mediocre too, but you could use 2 different cards to make it not qualify, to make it like a queen eye,
Right.
then they'd have a huge advantage.
Right. So, and that's basically it. And then there are a bunch of side bets that maybe make a good hand that will pay even if the dealer doesn't qualify or even if you don't win the hand. You know how all those side bets go with those
all the side betting.
carnival games.
Right. Huh. Well, I have mixed feelings on this
Mm-hmm.
because all that I can think of in my head is Vegas Vacation where...
Pick a number between 1 and 10.
Right. And they're, nope. And I love that actor...
Wallace Shawn, the blackjack
Wallace
dealer.
Shawn,
Oh, he's so great in that movie. Yep.
He's always great.
He is
he's
good,
just,
but he's especially
he's just
good
one
in
of
that.
those people you look at and you kind of got a snicker.
Yep.
But I could just see it. Nope, this is the way I'm playing it. Jack high. Well, wait, you got trips. Nope, Jack high. So I guess it seems like an interesting game.
Yeah, play for a little bit. I will link to an online version where you can just play for fun.
Yeah.
It is interesting because you have to kind of look for a little bit.
Right.
Oh. And a lot of times, you keep looking, it's like, oh, I've got nothing. Right.
Yeah.
And how are you going to set your cards? And, where do you put your kicker if you've got a pair? It's, it's not terribly complicated, but there's definitely some thought there. So
it's a little more complicated than Pai Gow because instead of a 5-hand, 2-hand, you're making 2 5-hands with different cards, right? So it would be more challenging.
Yeah, I mean, even though you only have 6 choices, so if you're 4 choose 2 for math people, you have 6 different choices of how you set up the 2 cards like that, which isn't that many. But still, you're looking and you're not necessarily going through in order the 6 different combinations. You're looking for pairs. You're looking for, can I make a flush? Things like that. So anyway.
Straights and flushes. Well, it may be, I can make a flush on this hand, but then I've got nothing here.
I encourage people to try this practice because it is interesting. And you can also play with the side bets too, rather than describe all of them because, they're different pay tables and what have you. So,
but
that's split hand poker. Good.
So last week's homework was to go to a casino, or last episode, I should say. And this episode is to get online and practice your split hand poker.
Yes.
Okay.
I expect you to do that. The listeners, if they want to, that's fine. That's up to them.
Oh, so they don't get mandatory homework, but I do?
Yes, that's exactly true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes with the lower level students, you have to force them to do stuff.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, so I understand you making me do it.
Okay. And then I'll talk to your mom.
Right? And I'll have Len get a piece of paper and pin a note to my shirt so that I remember to practice.
Good.
I'll be all set.
Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. And I know I always just read that every time, but honestly, we get so much support from listeners clicking through that link. We really, really appreciate it.
Yes, really, really do.
All right, let's move on to voicemails. First up is Frank.
Hello, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Frank from St. Louis. I'd like to tell you about an upcoming trip we have planned. If you go back to episode 196 of your great show, we did this in 2019 for our 60th birthdays. Now it's quickly our 65th birthdays. We're going to have a group of us starting about 7 a.m. on Monday, December 16th. We'll start at the Strat, 1 bet per casino. After the Strat, we're going to get breakfast at the lovely Aztec Inn Casino across the street, $5 breakfast. We're going to hit as many casinos as we can that day, probably somewhere 35 or so by foot. Dr. Mike, I heard your birthday is in February, and I will be 65 in February as well. Probably a good thing we didn't know each other at a younger age. But anyone who sees a group of people, 12 to 15 guys, anywhere from the ages of 22 to 70, feel free to join us that day, and I'll let you know how we did. Thanks for all your efforts on the show, and happy gambling. Thanks.
Oh, man. Yeah, remember when they did it before? This is... Dr. Mike, you and I talk about things that we will no longer do as we get older, like pulling all-nighter or other things. This I could see doing as I get older.
Yeah, I could do it as long as I had like one of those scooters.
Yeah, get you a scooter.
A scooter. I mean, I don't know if I could walk that far. I'd be exhausted.
Yeah.
But get a scooter, or maybe just one of those ancient Egyptian things where, the
we carry you
would sit in there. Yeah, and you guys carry me through the streets.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
What people are driving by? Yeah, they're just on a casino crawl.
Yeah. Now, see, you're bringing this up now. I don't even think it needs to be for a casino crawl. Maybe the next time there's a meetup, that's how you make your entrance.
That's how you make my entrance.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah. We'll have it at Caesar's Palace.
Of course. We'll hire some of the actors there that, play Caesar and Cleopatra and
Right. Wow, that's quite a that's not by the casino. That's just Dr. Mike coming in to play some craps.
Who?
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck, Frank. Let us know how that goes. Yeah, that sounds fun.
If we had known Frank when we were younger,
oh my gosh, yeah,
we would have had quite an adventure in Vegas, I think.
I think so too. All right, next call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. It's Raymond here. I just got back from my home state of Washington, and I went to the Q casino there, and I just thought it was very interesting because gambling works, I guess, a little differently in Washington state for slot machines. It's all based on electronic scratch tickets from a central computer server, and then the slot machines simply just invent a pay to match what they're supposed to pay. So they just like somehow come up with what spin or bonus feature will add up to whatever the scratch ticket you won was. And I just was blown away. But if you actually look at the game rules, it actually tells you on the last screen, like every outcome is determined by an electronic scratch ticket. And I thought that was fascinating. But then what's even more fascinating is they have this new section of games that are all the hits, all the new games that came out in 2024 in Vegas, you know, like Mo Mummy, Huff and More Puff, Frankenstein or whatever. And those ones, if you look in the game rules, those are bingo based. And I couldn't believe I was trying to understand how you can get bingo to generate such complicated outcomes. And I looked and it was like this, some of it seemed really convoluted. It was like, it's not really bingo. It's like the winner of the bingo game gets 1 credit. It's like whoop-de-doo. But most of the credit prizes were based on accumulating some score, and then there's like a score table where every score corresponds to a prize, and there was literally like quintillion rows of score tables. Like if you kept scrolling, the number went from like 0, and then if you hit back, it was like 10 digits long. Anyway, absolutely mind-boggling. Very interesting if you actually look at the rules in those games and what they can do with bingo, apparently. The other thing was I played craps there, and I thought you'd find this interesting, the ever-changing rules on buy bets. Their rule is $50 is a $2 VIG, but $150 is a $8 VIG. They said once you get above $100, they start rounding up to make up for all the bets that people are making at $50 that they round down. So that was interesting. I was very happy that when I asked why, they told me. That was the explanation. I was very satisfied with it. There was no fuss. And I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense. It's interesting. But that's what they did. And then they also had something that really made me mad. All the prop bets were 30-4-1, 15-4-1. I was dumbfounded by how they squeezed out extra odds against you, where if you bet on a yo, it's 15-4-1, which is 14-1, which is just as bad as the any 7 bet. You know, 16.6% house edge, just staring you in the face. I couldn't believe they did that. Have you seen that? 15-4-1 on a yo? It all started when I said I want to hop the Reds, and they were just very confused because they're like, it pays the same. And I'm like, no, it pays more. And then sure enough, it paid the same because they paid 15-4-1 on a hopping bet. And I was just like, well, I guess I'm never betting those again. On the plus side, it was a $5 minimum with 10x odds, and I had quite a good time betting 27 across and just pressing to infinity. Very fun. Anyway, that's all I got. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Raymond.
Yep,
Yeah,
thanks.
those lower payouts on prop bets have actually been around for a long time.
Yeah, Horseshoe in Vegas this last trip. That's what they have.
That's what they it used to be in the olden days. The better payouts were referred to as downtown payouts, and the
Right.
lower ones were referred to as strip payouts. Now, there are places on the strip that have the higher payouts. But yeah, Horseshoe, Harrah's, most of the Caesars property. In fact, I think Caesars Palace is the only one that has the higher payouts, as I recall, Mike.
Yeah, and it pisses me off, Mark.
Yeah, because you're used to the better payouts, and then you start making some of those prop bets, and they're paying you different amounts, or
Yeah,
like,
all of a sudden I'm getting 45 instead of $50.
yeah,
And I'm like, wait a minute, that pays and then oh, that's right. You guys have the crummy payouts.
mhm, yeah,
I use another word besides crummy,
mhm.
but
It's a family gambling show.
yeah, right. So crummy will do. Gosh, you got such an edge anyway.
Right, even at the better payouts,
Yeah,
there are huge house edges on those prop bets.
right. So what? It's going to make that much difference to the casino? I guess if they're going out of business, every little dime
Yeah.
helps.
Yeah, we need
That's
to
why you
think
see
about
them
their
sweeping
bottom
up
line.
the loose food in the restaurants
Yeah.
off the floor so they can reuse it.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dr. Mike.
I'm sure the Bacchanal does that.
And then, Raymond, you were talking about how, $50 buy bet is $2 VIG, but a $150 buy bet is $8 VIG. And the reason they gave you was, it makes up for all those times when it's the lower VIG on the I don't know what their real reason is, but
it wouldn't make up for it.
No, but how many times are people? Let me just say this: people are betting $50 buy bets way more than they're betting $150 buy bets. So, like you said, it doesn't make up for it. Do whatever you want to do, but yeah, it's another kind of silly thing.
Yeah, I think all this stuff is just it's going into someone's pocket, and I'll tell you what: it's not the employees. It's not maintenance of the casino. No. It's not, whatever.
Whose pockets then, Mike?
It's somebody high up there in the chain, Mark, who's getting that extra money, and they're spending it on Clark bars.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why you'd spend. I mean, I'll eat a Clark bar every once in a while.
Yeah.
But, only if I haven't had one in some time.
In a while.
Right.
It's not but some people are hooked on them, and that's probably what it is, Clark bars.
Yeah. So what the pit really should have said to Raymond was, some of the higher ups eat a lot of Clark bars, and just left it at that.
And just left. It makes just as much sense. He could have just said, yeah, it's a Clark bar issue.
Okay.
Raymond would nod his head.
Thank you.
Understand.
I'm glad you were forthcoming. That makes sense. And then, Raymond, what you were seeing at that casino in Washington was Class 2 gaming. That's where they're not traditional Class 3 slot machines like in Las Vegas. They're random. Instead, the slot machines are based on, lottery tickets, scratch-offs, bingo. It's the kind of thing where the casino is basically guaranteed a certain amount of money, kind of like the lottery is. There are some casinos in Washington that have Class 3 slot machines. So you just have to check. Yes, the Class 2 will generally say somewhere on there, either on the machine or at least in the rules, that the outcome is predetermined or something to that effect. So, yes.
They should have a situation where, okay, here's a Class 3 machine. You can play that if you'd like. Mm-hmm. Here's a Class 2 machine. You can play that if you'd like. Mm-hmm. And here's just this person sitting in a chair, which will just randomly say, yeah, you won. Here's $5.
Oh.
And it could be like some really good looking woman or man or something. So, you have a little conversation and get your money. Or she'll say, sorry, you lost.
Yeah. Try all three. See which one you like.
See which one you like the best. Because the outcome's going to be about the same. Well, I don't know. The middle one, you probably lose the most.
That'd be great if those turns out to be you lose the most on the Class 2. You don't lose the most on the person just sitting there. Hey, you won.
Yeah.
Hey, you won a jackpot.
Yeah.
Really?
Hey, congratulations,
The next day.
It's Wallace Shawn. Then there's a fourth one. It's Wallace Shawn video. Just sitting there.
You lose again.
You lose again. Oh, so you can pick if you want to be, humiliated. Some people like that, or you want to be, a big winner. Oh.
All right, let's hear from our good friend Bert.
Mark, Dr. Mike, it's Bert from Virginia. Got a little crap story I want to tell you. My wife and I went up to Atlantic City for the Thanksgiving weekend. Stayed at Harrah's. Had a pretty good time up there hanging out. Got to play some craps, some video poker. But I have a great story for you guys. Ended up staying up all night. Couldn't sleep the first night, so hung out in the casino pretty much from 2 a.m. till about 7 a.m. About 5 a.m., I walked up to a craps table. There were two guys already playing, and the shooter, he probably had hit two numbers of the ATS. I'll give you the end of the story. He actually ended up hitting the all tall small, but the way he got there has so many little twists and turns. First of all, this guy had to be the slowest shooter I've ever seen. The stick man would push the dice to him. He would throw him against the back wall, leave him alone, grab a handful of chips, play with the chips for a little bit, step back from the table, take a couple of breaths, step back up to the table, play with his chips some more, set the dice on whatever he set the dice on, pause, take a couple of breaths, pick them up, and then shake them, and then throw them down the table. He did this every single time. So many of your callers talk about people holding the dice for 45 minutes to an hour. This guy actually had a 45-minute roll, but it it wasn't a lot of rolls. It was so slow. Oh my God, I was going crazy. And trying to follow etiquette, I walked up, he'd only hit 2 numbers of the all, tall, small. But he ended up hitting the entire thing while I was standing there, and I didn't want to buy in the middle of this guy's hot roll, so I just sort of watched him do this. But he did the same routine every single time, and it was so frustrating. Another wrinkle of the story is that there were 2 brand new dealers, probably fresh out of dealer school, 2 young ladies, and they were making mistakes all over the place. Mistakes cutting payments, paying people wrong. I ended up having some come bets up, another roll, and they were paying me on the come bets and leaving them up. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to say anything. I'm following the mark rule. But this guy just was so slow. So the ladies were making mistakes. Their, I guess, veteran trainer was yelling at him, you're making mistakes. And people were telling him, the 2 of the shoes at the table, dude, calm down. It's okay. They're obviously learning. And this guy was taking so long, it really didn't make a difference that they were making mistakes because it was taking forever. But the end of the story is the guy ended up hitting the all, tall, small. The 2 players who were on the table got paid out. I think they had 10 each on it. He might have had 20 on it. He got paid a pretty good amount once he hit it. Watching it, I was almost glad I wasn't in that because it was driving me crazy. He ended up leaving. I ended up buying in after him. The other guy stayed at the table. He ended up hitting the small. I had some money on that, so I got paid on that one. So I made a little bit of money, but that first shooter, that routine was, Mike, it would have driven you nuts. That's all I got for you guys. Hope you guys have a great holiday. If I don't talk to you before then, Happy New Year.
You too. Thanks, Bert.
Yes, Bert, you too and your family.
And again, all this was happening at 5 a.m. I add that to it. Can you imagine Mike being up all night?
Well, I would have been up all day playing, and then I would have been up at 5 a.m. You're getting a little tired, and you're thinking, why am I doing this? And for me, at that point, it usually means I'm down. So I'm I got to play more to get my money back, right? Oh, I would have been so frustrated.
It would have been torture. You would have hated it. It would have been a gambling session that you would have hated. And I know what that's like. It's so late. You're tired. Yeah. No, that's not the right payout. Please just throw the dice.
Yeah, please, let's have another roll. I was just sitting here waiting for Bert to say, yeah, and then he adjusted his shirt. Like that guy that was at Harrah's that always would step away and he'd pick up and then he'd adjust his shirt sleeves like, he wasn't feeling comfortable in his own clothes.
Again, we go through these rituals. You and I, we understand it is fun to kind of set the dice and go through rituals. But when you take that much time and apparently you think it actually helps.
Right.
And then before you roll, you shake the dice.
That's my favorite thing when some guy spends forever setting them and turning them and twisting them and then picks them up and shakes them and rolls. Like, what? I don't know. Mark, that's why it's a great world because we have a lot of different people.
Yeah, it's fun to talk about.
Sometimes it's nice to see. I just wish people would act normally on a craps table. The rest of the world, I don't care. But craps table? Yeah, just act normal.
And there's somebody listening to this who thinks, well, that's what I do at the craps table. It takes me about 2 minutes before I actually shoot. These guys are jerks.
Yeah, it's like, remember that one time Paul told me, he said, I used to think my brother was the odd one, but I don't know. Maybe it's me. I always think of that.
It's such a great line because, honestly, his brother is the weird one.
Yeah,
I mean, let's just be honest, right?
Yeah, definitely. He's the weird one.
But Paul has gone through enough in his life that it's like, maybe it is me.
Yeah, after a while, you start to think, oh, maybe it is me.
Hey, Dr. Mike, I'm going to Vegas this weekend. When this episode drops, it'll be coming up. This is turning into an annual card night trip to Vegas. The guys who we play cards with on Tuesday nights.
So this will be during the rodeo.
Towards the end of the rodeo. The rodeo's going on right now. There will be some rodeo while we're there.
Yeah.
We are staying at Orleans. And again, this is because they have such a great poker room. And this is a poker trip for most of the guys. So that's where I will be. I'll tweet out where I am, we'll probably get to the Strip, some of us at some point, just look around, play at some different places or downtown or whatever. But again, Orleans, I will be there all day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's December 13th through the 15th. All
Okay.
day, because I'm actually driving in Thursday night and leaving Monday morning. So I'll be there all day,
Friday.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Again, December 13th through the 15th. So if you're around, we'll be at Orleans or somewhere that I'll tweet about.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
There,
hope
Dr.
that
Mike?
goes well for everybody.
Yeah.
As far as the poker playing stuff.
You going to meet us there?
Well, unfortunately, on the 13th, I will be spending the day with 90 high school kids making giant, large snowflakes.
Oh, okay.
That'll be Friday.
hmm
And then there'll be probably a basketball game that night that I have to
Okay, on that Friday.
Uh,
Okay. Uh-huh.
run. Yeah. And then the 14th, my oldest daughter comes home for Christmas.
Uh-huh. Right.
And we have to drive up to Rochester and pick her up.
Oh, okay, great.
So I'll meet you on the 15th.
Sunday, you'll have
Sunday.
time to come. And,
Sunday, I'll be there.
I'd be happy to pick you up from the airport. Although if you could Uber, I sure would appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's
I can Uber.
A little more
I could
time
probably-
at the tables for me. So, yeah.
Right. And it's no difference for me, really. Right.
That's right. You get there, so.
I just go to the casino. And I'll leave Monday with you. I got to be back at school for the last week before Christmas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's perfect then.
I wish that was the case. I wish that was the case. I wish I could do that. I would love to just tell somebody, yeah, so I did Saturday night. I caught a late flight. I got to Vegas, stayed up all night, played with Mark, and then I had to leave like super early Sunday morning.
Oh gosh, Mike, if you still lived here, you could pull
Yeah.
that off, right?
Yeah, oh,
less
yeah.
than an hour flight.
I could
direct
pull it
flight.
off, yeah. But unfortunately, that's not the case. And
All
so I'll just go out to Diamond Joe.
All right, sounds good. And I'll text you, let you know how.
Yeah,
everything's
pretend
going.
I'm in Vegas.
Oh, pretend.
And all the snowflakes are just porn flappers and people selling pot on the street. Stuff
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't. Whatever gets you in your Vegas mood, Doctor.
Yeah, right. You know what? Last time I was there in Vegas, I didn't notice a lot of porn flappers.
No, they're not
Although
really.
I
out
didn't
as
get
much.
outside as much.
Yeah, a
as
lot
I
of
usually
buskers.
do.
There's a lot of people looking to get their picture taken or do
Right.
things for money. Not as much as of the porn slappers as there used to be.
Yeah, there used to be just like you could not avoid them. I
Yeah.
mean, it was everywhere.
Well, I was on the most recent episode of The Better Life with Tim Lawson. Yes, that show is continuing. And we talked about the movie In Time. And one of the things we mentioned was, the second season of Bookie. They announced it, but I haven't heard anything about when it's premiering. So I don't know. We'll let you know. It's premiering this week. So I thought I'd let everybody know this Thursday, December 12th, the second season of Bookie premieres on Max. We think it's a funny show, so
you get the real scoop by listening to You Can Bet on That. You listen to Better Life.
Yeah,
they don't know what's
yeah,
going
they
on.
don't know what they're talking about. So we bring you up to speed here. So yeah, it was so funny because after I recorded with him, I'm just flipping around on the TV and say, premieres December 12th. Okay.
Well, since
maybe I
we're
should have looked
talking
into that.
about that,
Yeah.
off the subject a little bit, how is that new Star Wars show that's supposed to premiere?
Skeleton Crew?
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah,
that's it.
it's with kids. And it's getting
Okay.
good reviews. It's already premiered. It premiered last
Oh,
week.
it has.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah. I
okay.
haven't
So
watched
then-
it though, so I don't know. But it's getting good
Okay.
reviews, yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering. I see the ads and I want to watch it. Some of those that they've done, some of the offshoots have been okay, and some have been,
Yeah.
they don't interest me too much. But I like to check them all out just to, it's a generational thing. We grew up with Star Wars, right?
Sure.
We also grew up with Mr. Ed, but
Yeah, Mr. Ed, I don't think Disney Plus is putting out any new Mr. Ed
Mr.
material.
Ed's.
If they do, I'll check it out. I don't
Yeah.
have high hopes, but whatever, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Expand the Mr. Ed universe, the
Mr. Ed
mythology.
Mr. Ed might be married to,
Yeah. Oh, well, gosh, at this point, it's probably his
Yeah.
children or grandchildren.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Mr. It's grandchildren.
That's the way that you refer to a horse as a
Yeah.
grandchild.
Well,
I
yeah,
guess.
sires.
Grandsires, grandchild, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. But they're probably just hooked on video games and
Yeah, oh, yeah.
their phone.
Horses today.
That's ridiculous. If only Uncle Charlie was around to straighten him out. That's what everyone needs is an Uncle Charlie.
Oh, you're dating us. Who's Uncle Charlie?
Look it up, kids.
All right. Well, why are we going off the rails here? It's because this is the end of the show, kind of a short episode here. It's kind of that time of year we don't get a lot of feedback from people. Obviously, people are doing holidays.
Oh, everyone's
even
busy,
you and I aren't really doing that much. So
no. This morning I thought, hey, I think I'll go down there this afternoon. And then, we were doing some house things and getting things situated. And I was like, maybe I'll just wait and go like between Christmas and New Year's when I have more time.
Right.
And
well, hopefully our next episode will be a little longer because I'll be able to tell you stories from Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah. And hopefully they'll be winning good stories.
Yeah, I hope so. Oh, yeah, because I am down. I am down this year, my friend.
I know.
Yeah. All right. Well, we want to thank some people for some recurring donations. From James, from Jeremy at the Color Up YouTube channel, from Kurt, and from the International Brotherhood of Gobbling Donkeys. Thank you very much for those recurring donations. We also got a donation from listener Michael. Karma donation for upcoming December 6th Vegas trip. Oh my gosh. So he's probably there right now.
Yep. Should be.
Haven't had a hot roll in 2 years and am ready to break the bad luck. Oh my gosh. Good luck, Michael.
God, I hope that happens.
Yeah.
I hope a monster roll.
Yeah. And we got a donation from our buddy Robin Aubin from NE Time Gambling. Thanks for the lessons, help, and camaraderie at the Fountain Blue. You guys are the best. Oh, well, we sure wish you'd been able to win in that session, Robin, because we were all up at one point and it was great. Mm-hmm. We were playing at kind of a high limit table. I'll post a link to an article he wrote at Anytime Gambling about playing as a low roller at a high table like that.
Yeah, and we were doing well, and I thought, oh, this is going to be great.
Yeah,
because I like nothing better when somebody's a little low on funds or something to make a big comeback or something. I love that. Yeah. That's the best feeling. Even if it's not me, just seeing other people make this comeback, it just makes you feel good.
All right. Let's finish this up. At the top of our webpage, you'll find a link to our store where you can buy You Can Bet on That merchandise. You can also find a list of all the gambling-related shows coming up on American television at youcanbetonThat.com/TV-listings. And we've got a list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonThat.com/movies. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonthat@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter at youcanbetOnThat. And on Facebook at facebook.com/youcanbetOnThat. All right. You got anything else for us, Mike?
No, not really. I'm kind of excited about some of the bowl games coming up. And later today, there's a couple of good games at Oregon and Penn State I'm looking forward to. We'll see how good Oregon and Penn State are.
Yeah.
Because I've had my thoughts about both of them up and down. Oregon doesn't seem to want to lose, and Penn State, started off, they had one little rough patch.
Don't go on and on about this, because when people hear this, the game's going to be way over.
That's true, but they might want to know what I thought ahead of time.
Oh, that's good. And then they can
message Twitter.
Say, well,
what an idiot.
Were you wrong?
Yeah, I like to give some fodder for that. Yep. And I got one last thing to say, Mark.
Okay.
Since, we'll have another episode before Christmas, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I'll say this anyway now. You know what I don't like?
What?
I don't like when somebody gives you a thing to put down your wish list. Like at work or something, like you're having a gifts exchange.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll, you never know really what to buy somebody,
Yeah.
And then they give you a piece of paper that says wish list.
Yeah.
Well, my wish list is for peace, happiness, the world to be kinder, nicer. It shouldn't say wish list. It should say, what do you want?
Oh, well, you could say the same thing about what do you want. It should be, what would you like as a gift from me for Secret Santa?
Yeah,
Please
there
be
you
specific.
Go. Please be specific.
It's the wording
and keep
that you
it
don't
under
like.
$20. Yeah, it's the wording I don't like. So when I got one recently, said wish list, I put kindness, happiness, peace.
All right.
I'll see how that goes.
So you're kind of a jerk.
Well, not really. Because
did it help them? Yeah, but did it help them? Was the intent?
Underneath that, I wrote, just make a donation to a charity.
It sounds like something I would have done, Mike. Answered it literally like that.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like you. That sounds like my kind of.
Well, but I did write underneath that instead of a gift, just make a donation to some charity that you're,
all right. Well,
you
that's
know, you
nice.
feel passionate about, because I don't need anything really,
Yeah.
you know, except a new roof. But
Jeez.
that's not going to be under $20.
No, probably not. Maybe a tile.
Yeah, maybe I just get one old piece of roof
That's
from
what you just-
somebody. Yeah,
Gifts for me for the next 20 years. Everybody just
Yeah.
get me one tile.
one tile for my roof. I know enough people that probably 10 years I probably could have a new roof. And in the meantime, it's going to be cold in this house.
All right. I think we've padded this episode as much as we
all we can.
could. Yeah. So,
Well, every once in a while, it's nice to listen to some nonsense.
yeah.
Takes the pressure off people listening.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't really have to concentrate on this. It's just stupid.
Every 2 weeks, people get the opportunity. All right. Thanks for listening.
All right.
Did you guys see me? I was on fire tonight. Man, I can't wait to get back to the shore. God, I love gambling!